today's freshest stories, hottest trends, and the best conversations.
Hello, I'm Monique Tuzon-Basi. We're here to bring good vibes, big smiles, and a whole lot of fun.
And I'm Maria Gigante, so sit back, relax, and let the good times roll. And welcome to
The Daily Dish!
We're going to give you an hour of solid discussions with our guests and tackle interesting stories that matter to you.
Yes, you know what matters to me? My Seattle's
What?
Best coffee.
Always.
Me
Cheers.
too.
Same with Seattle's Best.
Can't start the day without it.
Giving
All
us
right.
energy this morning.
You know, there's a lot of good news regarding Filipino travelers, but it's so weird because some tickets are still quite, up there.
Yeah.
And travel is still quite, can be a little expensive. But Philippine passport holders moves up into the global ranking. Our passport now is ranked 61st from 62nd earlier this year. So now we can access 79 destinations around the world.
Which countries changed?
Sweet, I don't. That's 79 countries, so I don't know.
Well, I know one, Japan. Japan, we can now
Japan
visit
is not
e-visa.
Japan. Yeah,
yes,
through
on
e-visa. But then that's super cool. At least
Super cool.
We're getting back the trust.
And
of
at
the
least
world.
it's going down, not up. That's always a good sign.
Exactly.
Yes.
Baby
Yes.
steps, but
Baby
that's
steps.
what matters.
Small but little.
Yes, for us Filipino passport holders, mabuhay. We hope we go up to the 20s. Max.
That's the
Slowly,
goal.
slowly
That's the
but
goal.
surely. At
Yeah.
least make your way up to the 50s next year and then 40s.
Yes.
So like every year you will hop like 10 spots.
And then
Correct.
somehow, in whatever way, shape, or form, within this lifetime, #global entry. Oh.
Well, that's not too far from
Not
the
too far.
future, di ba?
Soon, I hope so. I
Yes.
wonder how you actually go up in the ranking.
How do you
Well,
go up in the
when
ranking?
countries open up visa-free arrival or e-visa entries. So when you go up the ranking per country that allows a citizen to enter the country with just their passport, instead of like, for example, the three main ones. You've got Canada, Australia, you've got the Schengen states, and the
Yes.
US. You definitely need visas.
Right.
Okay.
Definitely.
So once you get all four of that without having to apply for a visa, then your ranking goes all the way up more than like the 20s and the 30s.
Also, you'll
That's
be like
elite
top 10.
status
So
already.
hopefully we get that.
Yeah, Singapore is reportedly the best passport to
It's
have.
the most
Singapore right
powerful.
now.
Yeah,
Singapore,
yes.
Korea, Japan, all those.
Yes, the
Spain
Schengen
as
states as
well.
well.
Would love that. But you know what else I love? This is perfect for me to learn more about Filipino movies. Because the oldest known Filipino film back in the PH, Diwata ng Karagatan. Oh, did I say that right? Yes, I
Yes.
did.
Yes.
No, you passed that
So
test.
much. Thank you. Which was released in 1938, was discovered in Belgium.
Yes.
This is so cool. Like, of all places, Belgium. It's the oldest surviving Filipino film, and it returns home after nearly 90
Wow,
years
90
in the
years.
Philippine Film Archives.
Can you
And they
imagine?
confirmed
Wow.
that. Yeah, 90
Okay,
years, right?
That's something to be super proud of. And we like to mention these things on the show because it's something to be proud of, and that you are all aware that this exists. Can you imagine? 1936.
Yes, we've uncovered a piece of our history.
And it's
Exactly.
only been
Otherwise been
previously only
inaccessible.
been at least 5 Filipino pre-war films known to survive.
Wow.
So this is so cool. I hope
Well,
they like
that's how I
digitize
met
it
you,
and stuff.
remember? We were watching movies.
We were watching a film.
Yes, exactly.
What movie was that again? It was a Filipino Cinemalaya film.
Yes, it was by Christian Ginhawa.
Ginhawa.
Oh my! And I had
Yes,
an
that's how we
asthma
met.
attack while watching the film.
You
That
know
was like
why?
back in the
Because she
day.
didn't invite me to join.
that's
We
why.
didn't know you
Pretty
yet.
crispy.
This was like 4 years ago.
That's true. You weren't born yet.
You know
Yeah,
why.
yeah,
weren't
you were
born
just
yet.
born.
All right, so there's another one that I am totally into because I like my artisanal stuff, especially
me too.
water. But in Japan, premium ice is
Ooh.
on hyper exage demand around the world.
Wait, what
Premium
makes
ice?
premium
What do you mean?
ice?
Yeah.
So it's
what-
Kuramoto Ice that was founded in 1923, and Kuramoto specializes in premium clear ice. Check this out. So if you've got a cube,
Okay.
it is a solid block. You won't see any
Of the
air.
crystallization and
No
everything.
air
The
pockets.
crystallization.
Crystallization is
Yeah,
not
so
there.
there's no air.
Wow.
It's pure. So it's slowly frozen for over 48 hours.
Okay,
And-
so it's
Wow.
slowly made ice. Because
Yeah.
I was
Slowly made
thinking that
ice.
like, what water is this? Like, what glacial water is this for
Yeah,
it to
does
be
it come from
premium?
some Alps? Yeah.
Right. So okay, it's the slow process.
It's and it melts slowly. So, for example, you're in Tokyo, you're having a cocktail. You've got those round, the big balls
The
in
balls.
your rock glass or the square ones.
I love the square.
Dude, that's Kuramoto.
Can I
That's
like go when I
Kuramoto.
go to Japan? I want the Kuramoto eyes.
Just say nande Kuramoto ne.
Kuramoto ne.
Yeah.
Nande, Kuramoto eh.
I'm making that up.
Oh my God, I was like
dare
literally
you.
practicing, ready to go to Japan. No ba yan? Sige, I won't listen
But,
to
isn't,
the
but I mean, you know, if you're gonna drink a fancy beverage that's worth a couple of $100, you might as well have
This
the
is
best
the
ice.
perfect-
Yes.
Water on
if
the
it's a
rocks.
first experience, if you're traveling, it's worth it.
Yes,
'Cause-
they also have this version in New York, and they only produce once a day, and it's sold out. That's like it's pre-booked.
You should totally make some ice here. You can do it.
What will we call it?
Ferdi.
No.
The
Ferdi's
Ferdi.
ice.
Ferdi's ice.
Ferdi
Dory.
Moto's ice.
Ice, baby.
Dory's
ice,
ice.
Ferdi.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ice, Ferdi.
Okay, ladies. Next, we've got the world's first ton capacity heavy-duty robotic horse unveiled in Shanghai, China. So this horse, Kui Ji
Cool.
T1000, debuted at the 2026 World AI Conference in Shanghai. The robot horse carries up to 1,000 kilograms, runs for up to 2 days, and handles rugged terrain. So,
Oh, I
wonder
I
what
like
it looks
this.
like.
It looks
Because-
like a literally robotic horse.
yeah, so if you're going on like a safari, or you're going on like a dune, whatever, or going up different mountains, and
Right.
you don't need a Sherpa. Just go get this guy.
And I'm
this
all
is for the
for
titas.
this.
The titas who don't want to, you know, if we want
I
to go
don't-
visit Wang
I
On.
don't see the
yeah,
titas
we can bring the
riding
robotic horse.
the robot
No,
horse.
this is for people, for the animals, because they're so kawawa.
Yeah.
So this is
True.
such a good alternative to riding
That's
real
true.
animals. So I'm all for this robotic horse.
Right.
Where are the
Bye-bye
robotic
to
cows,
riding
robotic sheep?
elephants.
Yes.
Yeah, we need robotic elephants.
Facts.
I need to put in the order now. Yeah.
I don't, okay. I don't know how that's gonna work out. It's gonna be that big, but you know what? I wouldn't mind riding that robotic horse around where I live instead of a
Yeah,
scooter.
actually. But you know what?
So if I text you,
Yeah, I'm
do you
like,
want to have
I'm
lunch?
riding.
I'm on my way in my robotic
Yeah.
horse. Giddy up, giddy up.
I'm on the
But you
way.
know what they need to make? A robotic fish. Or a turtle. Or any
I think they
robotic
have those
aquarium.
already.
No, because
Naghahanap
of
talaga tayo ng
this.
wala, no?
What do you mean?
But that would be so cool.
Because in Paris, where can you swim now?
Ay, ang ganda
You're
na
so
intro!
slow! Ano ba?
Kasi,
Ang ganda ng segue ko and you didn't
need
get
fish so
it.
that they can swim with the
With
What?
The French, after 80 years of swimming, race
Waiting
returns
for
to
Ferdi.
Seine in Paris. Hundreds swam in the river Seine beneath the Eiffel Tower for the first time in nearly 80 years because the
It's
water
normally-
quality is improved,
Yeah.
and they made because of the water quality, so this made it possible. And don't forget, it is a heat wave in France.
Yes, it's
so
summer.
this is amazing.
I'm glad they cleaned it up because most people are scared of that. When I was there, I was
Exactly.
like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna turn into a mutant ninja turtle if I swim there.
More than that, you'll be turning into 2 mutant ninja turtles.
I think the sun needs
I just
Kurimoto
said
ice.
Ninda.
Yeah.
So,
All right, guys. So it's an all-art edition for the Daily Dish today. We're sitting down with painter Erikson Arcilla.
and we'll also be joined by gallery director Emilio Dizon.
All of that and more coming up on The Daily Dish.
Welcome back to the Daily Dish. The longest wait makes the prettiest flowers exhibit is actually happening right now at the Art Underground in San Juan.
Joining us now is in the studio is the artist behind those body of artworks. Please welcome Erikson Arcilla.
Erikson, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for
You
having
may
me.
be painting flowers, but my beautiful flowers beside me.
Absolutely, definitely.
So, you know what? We were conversing about,
Yeah.
you know, how you started and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And you had told me that you're actually a graduate of human resources.
It's human resource management. I went to business. Yeah, so it's pretty far away from painting
And
actually.
how funny,
Wow.
Maria, and then the shift to art. I mean,
Exactly.
we have a lot of guests that have, you know,
Yeah.
they didn't study art, but
That's true.
shifted. And what was your inspiration by the shift?
So when I'm from UST, so I started off in food technology in education in UST, and then I shifted to commerce, business administration.
HRM and then food technology.
Food technology first, and then naging HR. And then, yeah, so during my HR time, I was an irregular student, so I had a lot of free time. So what I did was, I had to go home after school and then wait for like 6 hours and then for the next class. So I needed a hobby. So I went to YouTube, started painting tutorials, Bob Ross, all of that.
Really?
Bob
And
Ross.
and that's how I started. Yeah, just really going to National Bookstore, getting whatever supplies, and then painting in my free time. And
Wow.
that, it blossomed from there.
And back then, did you already choose oil, or how did you discover your
I
medium?
chose oil because that was what was available, and that was yun yung on sale at the time.
On sale.
So yeah, that's what I did.
But coming from the University of YouTube,
Yeah.
you can't learn technique like what I see here in your pieces. That's highly technical.
You have
Super.
to get obsessive with it to a certain point. So it's very expensive to get lessons. So fortunately, it's a University of YouTube. There's a lot of people who are very generous with their techniques. So you just sort of knit through a lot of different advice that you can gather from different artists on YouTube. And that's how you sort of get your own style. So you try to copy one artist, and then that doesn't work out really well, and then you listen to another artist, and you somehow find your stride, and then you start finding your own way na. And when you get to a certain level of expertise, then you can start experimenting and going off on your own.
When was that moment when you kind of hit the threshold and
cool.
realized, okay, I can do this now?
So I was following this artist from New York, and I added him on Facebook, and he accepted for some reason. Tapos I was trying to copy his work, wala lang, all that type of stuff. And I posted this painting I finished of mine, and sabi niya, wait, this looks familiar. Sabi ko, whoa, wait. Sabi ko, am I copying this guy too much na?
Did you just make a dupe?
So I messaged him. Sabi niya, no, it's all good. I'm really happy for you, but I think you have the materials now to start going off on your own. And he was really happy about that. So that was sort of a waking moment na, oh yeah, I can do my own thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do you call your genre?
I don't know what to call it. It's really more of, it's just, I would like to paint a reflection of an emotional state. I don't know what genre to call that. It's just, it's contemporary
Interesting.
art, but at the same time, it's just a reflection of what I'm feeling at the time. That's really what it is.
Right, and in some way, that emotion kind of transfers to the viewer.
Yeah. Well, that is the hope.
Yes, what emotion were you feeling when you painted
Okay,
the one
so-
behind you? Yeah.
When I was painting this, I was feeling a little nostalgic because I'm from Bicol, but I've been staying in Metro Manila since '09 because of college. And I saw a video of a guy doing bonsai, and I grew up with my dad doing bonsai, and so sabi ko, I need a little throwback, something to put me back. So I remember my tita and my dad having this, you know that orchid that you don't know why it's still alive. It's hanging on by a thread over some small
I know what
driftwood.
you mean.
Exactly.
I know what you mean.
So I took inspiration from that, and I still wanted to be environmental. Environmental is always the recurring theme in most, if not all, of my work.
Is it because of where you grew up?
It is, because where I grew up, it's an island. Catanduanes is an island. Yeah, right?
Yeah, I'm from an island.
There's a particular beach there that's getting now completely swallowed up by the sea. Forests are now getting swallowed up by landslides, environmental disasters. So I made a sort of pact with myself that if I am going to paint, especially professionally, that I would somehow, in some way or one way or another, weave that into the conversation. Hence why it's always nature themed, or at least the very core of the subject is always almost nature, always.
Did you ever veer away from your nature or
I did.
environmental trajectory?
I did. I think it was my fourth show or third show rather. The fascination with space travel sort of took over because everybody wants, at some point, every kid wants to be an astronaut, right?
I love that. So there's also quirk.
Yes,
Yeah, di ba,
a little
Maria?
bit of quirk.
Yeah, and I can't fully, dive into the.
I love
yeah.
this. I love this series that's being projected right now on the screen, When was this?
Oh, so
That's my jam.
That's giving me surrealism.
Yeah.
It's giving a little
so that's how it started
Dali.
actually. Surrealism and then tree houses.
Wow.
Because when I painted the tree houses, I was in a space where I want some peace. It's a little noisy, and what I needed to find a representation for solitude that people can connect to. And what better than a tree house when it's your own little fort? You can go up, the world is quiet, it's just your own little world, and you're just there.
That's lovely.
This is super resonating with me, Maria. Like, when I saw it on the screen, normally I don't look at the screen, but
Yeah.
I need those in my life.
Well, I mean, social, because that wasn't a tree house, that was a tree barn.
That's a tree
Yeah,
barn.
yeah.
Of course, it's up your alley.
It's non-traditional tree houses, I guess.
It has all the luxury fittings inside, I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
it does. It does. Ano, you have a barn cat inside the tree house.
I noticed a book on which one of the trees was,
Right.
resting. The Little Prince, is that a special book to you?
Yeah, because I love how the little prince is always asking questions. That's him, right? He's
Right.
very, very curious. Like, what's this? What's that? When do we get here? What? So that level of curiosity is sometimes, I think, lost as we get older. When you
That's
get
true.
too focused on your job, when you get too focused on life happening around you, and to nobody's fault. Like, it's very, very challenging. But I think we need to maintain a certain level of wonder and curiosity so that our perspective can always be refreshed, especially in times of need.
Okay, at current
beautiful.
times,
Current times.
is this resplendent of your pieces right now?
Yeah, because right now, a lot of people feel very bleak sometimes with the outlook of the world. Like, there's a
Right.
war happening, there's a lot of there's inflation, the economy, and everything going on. I wanted people to go home, sit down, look at their walls, and just feel like, oh, this is something nice. This is something that gives me peace. So, and at the same time, if they want a deeper conversation, that's still there. Like, they can still ask, oh, why are you painting flowers? Why is this a floating moss ball? So they can still ask those questions, but at the same time, they can just sit down and appreciate it for what it is.
Well, since you mentioned it, why are you painting flowers? And
Because they're just so pretty.
I can relate
Because
to that.
they're just so beautiful. They're
I
so
love
easy to
that.
look at. It's not so deep. It's just when you look at the field of flowers, I don't know, it's just so nice.
Okay, but with your current exhibit that opened 2 days ago,
Yeah.
how many pieces are you actually showing?
I'm showing 8 pieces.
And tell us about them.
Okay, so the 8 pieces all circle around the theme that the longest wait makes the prettiest flowers. The title is basically pointing to, if you have patience, something will bloom. And the reason why they are growing on rocks, very, very dry, it seemed, rock, because I wanted to show that even in inhospitable environments, even in very trying times, that you can still grow. We have seen people move on from strife now and again. So I want it to be a theme of hope. I want it to be a theme of perseverance. And that's why the show, the 8 pieces, will show flowers really growing in rocks that have dried up, that seem to host no life dapat. But out of this, something grows. Life finds a way.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful and poetic.
Oh, cool. I love that.
But with these 8 pieces, do you think an exhibit of 8 pieces is enough to convey your thoughts or your theories about what's happening now around
Well,
us?
that is always the hope. There is always the challenge and limitation of physicality. And by that, I mean, because the technique is a little more difficult to execute in the sense that, so if you look at the piece over here, you see that the moss growing on top of the rock.
It seems like this is your favorite.
I love the floating rock. I love the floating rock. So the way you do the greenery is you do it with a number 1 brush, and that means the brush tip is this small.
The pointy one.
So
yes.
one can assume that takes a couple of thousand dots to finish. So with that, it can take some time to finish, and it can hurt your hand a bit. So you need to take care of yourself so that you pace yourself properly. I hope that 8 pieces will be enough. I hope the 8 pieces will resonate with people, and I really hope that people do enjoy as they rummage through the gallery.
You know, Maria, I just heard
Yes.
you know the technicalities of the. Do you paint?
I do.
Oh, cool.
I do. It's my first love. I wanted to be an artist.
Okay,
Ayun,
here
we
you
go.
But I
should
love
should I
oil.
leave the?
No, absolutely
May
not.
fitting room na.
You could ask me what I paint later. I'd hardly paint flowers, but I love flowers because my grandmother, I
Yeah.
grew up around them.
Okay,
Similar
cool.
to you,
Yeah.
yes.
Nice.
I actually have the same orchid in my living room
Right.
right
Oh my
now.
God, that's so nice.
Yes, but I think it's amazing now that I can see all the details up close. You really did do a lot of pointillism, right?
Yeah.
Time consuming.
It is.
Yes. Is
very
it
good.
hard on your eyes or?
Well, the first time it sort of is, because when you're studying these techniques for the first time, sometimes you need assistance from like a magnifying glass to see if it's really coming out right. But as you get more into the process and you become more familiar with the technique, you can sort of trust yourself na, okay, this will work out fine, even
Yes.
if hindi ko na super to talk. So, it works out in the end.
Okay, you know, what, both of you talk about technicalities, pointillism, and stuff like that. How, without having to obviously ask you the rude question of how much a piece costs.
Yeah.
How do you value a creation
a
that you
great
have,
question.
Right.
and when you put it in a gallery?
Okay, so there are 2 ways to go about this, especially when you're starting. Almost nobody has an idea how to do this, right? Like there's no blueprint on how to price an art piece. It's basically from the floor to the ceiling. So when I was in college, I would trade small pieces for buckets of beer.
That's interesting.
Wow,
So-
value. We're
so
talking
ano
about
ba,
exchange of value,
Barter
right?
is the oldest economic
so that's how
system.
it started.
Okay.
But once you transition from being a hobbyist to a professional artist, you need structure. That's where a gallery comes in. So once a gallery comes in, they can now help structure you and how to sort of progress, because you can't jump from really cheap, really mura to suddenly very expensive. And the same is true. You can't go from very expensive and suddenly you're very mura now. So that's very difficult. So what you do is you sort of go through your achievements. You do solo shows, you do exhibits, you do group shows, and the more people look for your work, the more value is added, the more demand is there, then you sort of can justify incremental increases
Okay.
when it comes to pricing. Well, at least that's how I tackle it. That's how we tackle it.
That was a very insightful answer because I'm sure many artists around the Philippines are
Yeah.
wondering how to professionalize their art.
Yeah. Well, with the advent of social media, there's Instagram, there's a lot of, you get offers nowadays. So you don't even sometimes have to price your work. So
Yes.
you put a work up and then you get an offer for it. And that can sort of work as the baseline for how you price your work. So there's a lot of tools that somebody can use nowadays. But I think the most reliable way is still, you get good representation, just like any kind of artist. You get good representation, and they help you navigate that sort of career management.
Right,
Because
right.
now it's not just a hobby now.
Yes.
It's not, you're now a professional, so you need to manage that career properly.
Let's dive into that a little bit more, since you are with
Yeah.
business managers and gallerists, because we know some artists that hit their apex,
Right.
and then all of a sudden it's mass. They're producing more than usual, like
Right.
more than
Right.
most paintings. Do you think being prolific hurts you as an artist?
Oh, good one.
This is an interesting question. I think it can, at the same time, it's okay. So in what sense? I think being a prolific artist gets your work where it needs to be seen. And I think that's a very good thing. What happens now when the demand isn't there but you're prolific? Is that the question? Okay,
That can be part of it, yes.
Okay, so what happens is when you're now prolific but the demand isn't there, creates a sort of black hole that you have to navigate. So I think every type of professional, every type of worker will go through this. There will always be a time where you have to hunker down. There will always be a time where I need to have faith in my work. I need to keep working. it rains every once in a while, the sun will come out, and you just have to push through that. And I think that level of prolificness will always work, because if you ask any artist, especially any starting artist, if they want to be known, of course the answer is yes. You want people to see your work. Yeah.
Of course, of course. Does it affect your creative process, like having to produce so many paintings?
Of course,
Do you
it
feel
does.
drained
It does.
sometimes?
The pressure to create pieces sometimes can oppressively direct how you paint and even how you think sometimes, because you do want to explore as an artist, but at the same time, you now have momentum and you're now on a train that's moving forward, and it's very difficult to stop.
Right.
So, especially if you have people who like a certain type of theme now, how do you now navigate away from that? How do you balance that out? So, the trick is to, ideally, you have a sustainable theme that people really like, but at the same time, you allow yourself moments of experimentation. Like, for example, I'll take a month of a year and I'll just paint whatever I want. It's not for selling, it's not for anything else, it's just for me. You have to give yourself some me time. You always give yourself some me time,
Right.
so that you are very, very free to imagine whatever you want. The technicality, how good it is, it doesn't matter. As long as you love it, it's good.
Erikson, I'm gonna jump the gun here. Since your
Yeah.
exhibit is already ongoing,
Yeah.
what's your next theme?
Okay, so that's not always in the works. Sometimes, the way inspiration works is, it's very, very scarce. It's very difficult. So, what you want as an artist is a process. So that process, especially when it comes to stuff like this, is expansion. So I started painting these rocks with in Art Fair Philippines, with Art Underground also last February, and it was just rocks and moss. I still wanted the theme of perseverance, but I wanted it to be more gritty. Moss is very gritty, that's why I chose moss. So how do you go from that to the next exhibit? You need to be able to envision adding elements to your pieces until you can't anymore. So the next piece, you'd want something more rooty. Do I add natural wood to this? Do I add driftwood? Do I add whatever sort of thing that will relate to the theme of nature, but at the same time, it doesn't take away from the core of what I want to do, which is to really just put something there that's nice to see, but people have access to a deeper conversation.
Yeah, I think the guys from Art Underground are not, they're gonna kill me for like jumping the gun.
I know.
Inspiration comes in waves.
Yes.
Inspiration comes in
Yes.
waves. So we don't know what comes next, but something will come next.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you, Erikson, for joining us today.
Thank you,
Please
thank you,
invite-
thank you, thank you.
Yes, please invite your viewers to
Over
the
here, Erikson,
exhibit.
please
Thank you,
invite-
thank you.
yeah. I invite them to your exhibit to come and see
sorry.
your
Yes.
first exhibit.
Okay, so the exhibit is currently ongoing now at Art Underground Manila in Mabini 180 in San Juan. Thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank
Please
you
drop
so
by.
much. Yes, and of course, over here at the Daily Dish, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Art has a way of sparking up conversations, elevating spaces, and most importantly, telling stories. And speaking about spaces, we're here right now at the Provenance Gallery here at Rockwell, where they feature proudly Filipino artists and art that comes to you. Come, let's see. Daily Dishers, you know we love to bring you art. Today with us, we have Emilio Preysler Dizon, the director of Provenance Gallery. Hello, Mio na ngayon.
Yes, just call me Mio, Chal, and thank you so much for being here and for thinking of us.
We're so excited to be here. You guys are actually doing a pop-up right now here at Rockwell, and you guys will be here until September. Let's talk about first what you guys are showcasing. This one is called what?
So this project is called Bridging the Gap 2, and yes, it's taking place here in Power Plant Mall. From June until the end of September, we will be here with a rotating exhibition series where we'll be featuring about 80 contemporary artists up until the end of September. So we keep things dynamic and fresh, and we want to guarantee that whenever people come and visit, that they see something new.
Okay, from the very beginning, we've known Provenance Gallery throughout the years, but what makes this one extra special?
Well, what makes this extra special is that with our lineup of about 80 contemporary artists, we show a great and varied range of artists. We have the young and up-and-coming artists, we have the mid-career artists, and the more senior and established ones. So we really have everything for everyone. We don't want to waste people's time when they visit. They get the most out of their visit when they come here.
Okay, as the director, of course, of Provenance Gallery, you've seen people, different walks of life, different artists come in as well and showcase. How would you say people are nowadays towards art? Because there used to be a sense of, how do I say this? More of art is just for a certain type of people. But now, more nowadays, a lot of people are connecting with art. Is that what you guys are trying to actually do?
Yes, what your point is spot on. What we really appreciate is how people are finding art to be more approachable now. And it's particularly why we wanted to position ourselves here in Rockwell, where instead of people having to visit just an art gallery, we want to bring the art gallery to them. And what better place than in Rockwell?
Let's talk about that. Being an art gallery in malls. Decades ago, when you say art and art gallery, it has to be in very special expositions, very special nights and events. Of course, you guys still have that. You carry a lot of big names as well, not just emerging artists. But what is it about being in a mall that makes it easier for people to connect with?
Yes. Well, to your point, art for many, many years has been known as quite intimidating for a lot of people, including myself when I first started, no? You'd think that it's meant for people with very deep pockets, MBAs, and everything's all white walls and everything, but what we want to do here is make art approachable. I'm here in Rockwell every day. I want to meet our artists and our clients firsthand, to make the experience more personal for them. And I think at the end of the day, when you're able to connect with people on that way, you get a sense of what they really like, what they really connect with.
And I love this because that means you could actually have a meal with your family, maybe do some errands, and then at the end of the day, appreciate and get to purchase art as well.
Yes.
Pwede rin, di ba?
Yes, exactly. And and more importantly for the artists, we get to amplify their voices by being here in the mall, right? With such a wide audience here. And at the end of the day, something that we put great importance on is growing the collector base of these artists to help them sustain their careers. Because if more people know their art, more people will follow them, more people will hopefully collect their works as well, and that really helps the artist. So we want to put these works of these artists in front of a fresh set and a wide set of eyes.
Okay, I love that you mentioned artists because at the Daily Dish, we love showcasing Filipino talent, Filipino skills wherever they are around the world. How are you guys able to pick and curate? What is the definition for Provenance Gallery for the artist to be here?
So when I came in a few years ago, I was very lucky that my parents, Raul and Joanna, had set a very strong foundation. They established many great relationships with a number of very talented artists. So when I came in, it was just a matter of addition. To put it simply, we want to exhibit artists whose works that we genuinely like, artists, who have a good reputation in the art scene, of course. And, we have such a great relationships with many of our artists that a lot of them even recommend fellow artists to us that they think might match our DNA. So we always take a close look at that. We always study that. And so yes, to put it simply, we want to exhibit works that we like and that we believe can connect with our audience.
Mio, you mentioned your parents, Raul and Joanna, of course, beloved, beautiful people. How is it coming into this business, having them as parents? So we're going into you now.
Yes, of course. Well, what? I grew up with my parents being very intentional about guiding me and mentoring me. So coming in and, working with them in the gallery felt like a very natural fit. And again, it makes my job all the more important and meaningful to me because, I want to be able to carry on their legacy, right? I want to be able to expand on what they've built and, do good by them with everything they've done.
Both of them are very known, especially your mom, no? To do well with curating, whatever it is, whether it's with fashion or with art or with decorating, whichever, there's a sense of curation. Do you have a free hand with this when it comes to curation? Do you also get to pitch in and say, look, I found this wonderful artist and I think we're gonna do good here?
Oh yes, absolutely. Here in Provenance, we really work as a team, as a collective. We all have a say, and of course, we all have to agree on it, no? But yes, again, as I said earlier, when I came in, it was a matter of addition, and growing up with my parents, with their tutelage and their guidance, my eye was really trained by them when it came to art. My parents have been collecting art for about 30 years now, so I grew up around art and had similar tastes that they had. So again, it was just about me adding artists that I felt like fit our gallery, and I'd like to think that 9 times out of 10, they agreed with me on which works or which artists to bring in.
Thanks for your honesty. Okay, now let's talk about being surrounded by art, like what you've mentioned. No? Some of us, or most of us, we grew up with art first, maybe through school, and then later on museums,
Yes.
and then later on we start to learn and appreciate them and carry it in our home. And you were surrounded by art all throughout. But when you came into this gallery and you came into the business, were there already personal picks? What did it develop your style?
So, growing up around art, my parents had always taught me, growing up around art allowed me to respect different visual languages, right, from a very early age. And with that, of course, being the younger person, obviously, in the family, I had similar tastes as my parents, but also maybe a more contemporary, at times, taste. And, the artists that I would end up bringing in, my parents would also see their works, they would consider it, and they'd end up liking it most times.
Okay, you mentioned 80 artists. These are all proudly Filipino artists, correct?
Yes.
And in all these 80 artists, you'll be showcasing a lot of their paintings in rotation. But what would you say, I'm gonna give you a difficult question right now, would be one unifying thing about everyone's art that they were able to make it through this pop-up of yours?
Yes, well, when we started this project, we simply asked the artists to put their best foot forward as much as they can. And that they have that, we tried to make them understand that, being in Rockwell with such a wide audience and many people will be seeing their works for the first time, to really make a statement. So, all these artists have unique visual styles, they have their own identities, but I think that they really delivered some strong works here that we're so happy to share with everyone.
Okay, let's dive deeper into the artists. Can you name us a few? Not all the 80 people, okay? No favoritism here, but just maybe name a few that you guys have had and will be having as well.
Yeah, so we've featured a number of artists since we first opened in the first week of June. And, we've had lineups of some amazing artists such as Selen Yusuf, whose show just wrapped up. We've also had Mark Padernal, of course, Jeffrey Ordilio, Jojo Barha, and many other amazing young artists. And our next exhibition will be featuring the likes of Yonis Sikuya, Julian Nung, and many more. I would name more if I could, but then we might take up the whole interview.
That's 80 names out there. Okay, so some of these names that you've mentioned, very known in the art world already. They actually have people collecting their art already. But then there's also those emerging ones. For those emerging ones, I'm sure you guys really want to highlight them and to be able to connect them to the right audience. How are you able to choose from a lot of the emerging artists here in the Philippines?
Yeah, so there are so many amazing young talents out there right now, and what I've observed in the art scene is that people are really learning to appreciate and support these younger artists. As far as how we select them, again, going back to my statement earlier, it's really seeing which works that we connect with, that we're drawn to, that we believe our audience would really like. And, supporting these artists in a critical time in the career when they're just starting out is really so important to them, because that's when they need this support the most.
How would you say the current art scene right now in the Philippines is?
Just like in many other industries, there's so much uncertainty now with everything going on. But with that uncertainty, that's why we find this project, Bridging the Gap 2, all the more important, where we get to expand every artist's collector base, hopefully, people who follow them, people who get to discover their work. So the art scene as a whole, may be unpredictable at times, maybe even now, with all this uncertainty in our world, but we like our chances here where we're able to share their works with a wide audience.
Mio, I'm a big believer that kung walang kwento, walang kwenta. And I know there are a lot of stories that you guys hold with the artists as well. Can you share one? Any of the artists that you've had, that you guys have worked with a beautiful backstory?
Well, one artist that we work very closely with, who we've worked with for about the last 3 to 4 years, his name is Jeffrey Ordilio. He's one of our main artists who's incredibly talented, and he's basically sold out every show with us. We met Jeffrey back in 2021, in the middle of the pandemic. And he is an artist from Isabela, but when we first met him, we didn't know it at the time, right? So he reaches out to my dad and I saying, "Sir, I'd like to show you my works. Do you mind if I'd love to meet you?" And we said, "Okay, all right, let's meet tomorrow in the gallery at 10 a.m. when we open."
Siya yung nag-reach out?
Yes.
Okay.
And at the time, we didn't know he was from Isabela.
Okay.
So we said, all right, we'll meet you tomorrow at the gallery at 10 a.m. So tomorrow comes around, and at about 7 a.m., we get a message from him saying, "Sir, nandito na ako sa gallery." I'm like, what? Why is he so early? So my dad and I, we rushed to the gallery. We see him there, and he's carrying his works to show us. And we asked him, "Jeffrey, if we may ask, why are you here so early?" Turns out he took the overnight bus from Isabela just to meet us that morning. And since then, we've been connected with Jeffrey. We've exhibited a lot of his works, and the reception by the audience has been great with him, and he's done very well. So if you talk about background story, that would be one that's close to my heart.
That story really puts the word art in heart for me. And I think that's what people don't seem to realize, that it's not just about these huge, talented artists, but there's so many others, even outside of Metro Manila.
Yes,
All of
yes.
these artists that are worth featuring. Mio, you're doing such a wonderful job. I mean
Thank you, Chal. No,
Thank
it means
you for
a lot.
having
Thank
us
you.
here. But I think what I want to leave with our daily dishers, our audience, is your message for those people who think that art is, like what you said, hard to approach, or something pretentious, or something highfalutin. What would be your message to them? The invitation for them?
Well, we are here now at Provenance in Rockwell, and we'd like to invite all of you. And I guarantee that with every visit here, you'll see something dynamic, something new. And at the end of the day, when it comes to art, what's most important is that you collect what you like. Forget what everybody else has to say. Collect what connects with you. So we look forward to seeing you here at Provenance in Rockwell.
I'm gonna throw in one more
Sure.
here because I actually love what you said. People can come here in their sneakers, maybe in their shorts, but still
Yes.
get to appreciate.
Yeah, we're casual
art.
people.
Exactly. What is your tip for first-time art collectors or those who want to get into the art world?
Yeah.
What would be your tip?
Again, it would be to collect with what you truly like and connect with. And as you start collecting more, people's tastes change throughout the years. So even if a piece that you collected 5 years ago doesn't resonate with you now, that's okay. Your taste will evolve. And again, tune out the noise and just get what you truly love and connect with.
I love that. Your taste will evolve. Thank you so much, Mio,
Thank
or
you,
rather
Chal.
Emilio Preysler Dizon, the director of Provenance Gallery.
That was a artist show today. Tomorrow on the Daily Dish, back by popular demand, we will sit down once more with my leader, Justin Piñon.
We'll also be joining High Rocks coach and athlete Gab Rosario and see Chal and I die.
I can't wait.
That's it for us today, Thursday, July 23. Join us again tomorrow for more Real Talk.
A lot of spilled tea.
With Zero Filter, I'm Monique Tuzon-Basi. Anytime is a good time because it's always more fun with us.
And I'm Ferdi Salvador, always on top with the news and stories that matter most. Midday Report is up next. Stay tuned to the Bilyonaryo News channel.
I'm Maria Gigante, and thank you for making us your lunchtime companion. That's the Daily Dish.
Serve!